Hey, this is Tommy John, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
You can put it on the board! Yes!
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm the Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP TV. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops. Wait till you taste their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon, of course, the king of all, those massive cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had, probably be the best you ever had as well. Hell, wait till you try those jumbo Wagyu and Angus burgers as well, half-pound to a pound monsters. Again, big appetite. Check out UppercutChops.com and find out what's for dinner, or give them a call, 702-799-9935, 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935 for UppercutChops.com. All right, a big welcome in to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates, all of our independents from coast to coast, as well as everybody watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Time Warner, and WOW Cable TV and Hotel Television in over 500,000 rooms from coast to coast. And we have brought back for a World Series preview a blast from our 2017 past. And this is a guy that doesn't really need a whole lot of introduction, but we're going to let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
My name is John McLaren, and I had a great run in baseball, 50 years, 26 in the major leagues. I managed the Mariners, and like I said, I had a great run, and I enjoy talking baseball.
All right. John, welcome back. It's been a minute. It's been, since 2017. And, you know, the one thing we didn't get a chance to see last time was this incredible collection you have behind you. For everybody listening on radio, you'll have to watch the video of this, and you can go to YouTube or Facebook or whatnot and check this out. What do you have behind you in a 2-minute summary?
Well, I have a lot of pictures of myself and other people, Reggie Jackson, Johnny Bench, Ted Williams, Willie Mays, Joe DiMaggio, Tom Selleck, and then I have probably 100 autographed bats, probably got 150 autographed books. I got a desk behind me that Jesse Barfield gave me, and it's cherry wood, and the center of it's cut out, and it's got a field, and I took the glass off, and I brought dirt back from Fenway Park, and I put it on the infield and the warning track, and beautiful desk. And collecting is one of my passions. I've enjoyed doing it. Being in my job that I had, I was able to get a lot of things, run into a lot of people, meet my hero, Mickey Mantle. So I really, I treasure the history of our game. I love the 50s era, and I got a couple cool pieces, Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson autograph piece. I got George Bush shaking Babe Ruth's hand with a script autograph for both. So I've got some oddball stuff, and I got a lot of Mickey Mantle stuff because, like I said, he was my hero. And it's a nice collection. It's a great conversation piece when people walk in, because it's not your norm. A lot of people have never seen anything, with this much baseball stuff in one room.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, all the baseballs, all the bats, all the photos, and all of these memories that I got this on this particular time or this date, and I was at so-and-so with Mickey Mantle, whatever. And imagine you could write an encyclopedia of books regarding probably a lot of that, but I don't even know how many books you'd probably be able to write. 5, 10, 15, who the hell knows?
That might be a project in the future. I've got several hundred Lou Piniella stories, and just, the people I run into, the people I've got to coach. I think I've coached 11 Hall of Famers. So it's been a fascinating journey on my part, and I love it.
Okay, so I want you to talk to me about look. You've coached 11 Hall of Fame players and thousands of others. What is the real difference between coaching a Hall of Fame player and maybe a Hall of Good?
I think it's all about respect and honesty. One of my strong points was working in the clubhouse. I'd go out in the clubhouse off and on, and I would look for body language. A lot of guys up, and cheerful and smiling, and then I'd see somebody in the corner with his head down, and I would try to approach him and see if he wanted to have a conversation, that maybe he wanted to get something off his chest. And there was a couple times I more or less insisted they go talk to Lou Piniella and let him know what was going on, because the guy wasn't playing particularly well, and he had some family issues. And I'm not one to, when someone confides to me, I'm not one to give that information out. So I would, encourage them to go talk to Lou and let him know what's going on, and talk to the sports psychologist or whatever. I mean, hey, I don't care if you're the best player of the game or you're a 25th guy, a 4A player. We all have situations, family, whatever, and financial, and it has a bearing on what kind of mental state you're in. Does it take away from your game? So, like I said, that was a big part of my job, and I really enjoyed doing that part of it, patrolling the clubhouse and talking to players.
So, in controlling the clubhouse, and let's just say its relation to the role of the bench coach, it's almost like being the bench coach inside the clubhouse, right? So it's sort of managing everything that's going on in the clubhouse, managing morale and everything else that comes with it. And you're basically like the chief operating officer of what's going on in the clubhouse and on the bench, right or wrong?
You're right. I mean, I think the bottom line is all the coaches want to get the guys ready to play the game. And, with Lou Piniella, there was a situation, and, he could be tough on young players. And I would talk to these players. I said, look, stand your ground. Don't let him muscle you. Don't talk back to him. Don't show him lack of respect, but let him know that you're going to hold your weight, and he'll respect you more, and he'll back off. And Dan Wilson's a prime example, that somebody that held his ground, that was very respectful and didn't get out of hand. And, Lou always said, if they can't handle me, they can't handle the bottom of the ninth with the game on the line.
I think that is one hell of a statement. In fact, that deserves a round of applause. So when we think about, I want to play, put me in, coach, put me in, that kind of thing, right? And then you have the overachievers versus those that are kind of there and almost on cruise control or autopilot. And they're on autopilot because they're already making crazy amounts of money, and they know eventually they have to play because ownership wants to get some bang for your buck. How do you decide when you're going to sit somebody down despite ownership's desire to have that player in?
It's a very slippery slope. Be honest, no question about it. To me, you got to have a lot of open communication, take guys in the office, and that's where veteran leadership takes over. That's when you got guys in the clubhouse with a presence that, like a Jay Buhner, he could take somebody to the side, whether he's a veteran Norm Charlton could do that. And Edgar Martina was great. He was a quiet guy, but he was great about it, to help a young Latin player to, make him realize his potential. And, Edgar's work ethic was second to none. And, he tried to talk to him how he was not a great prospect when he first was playing in the minor leagues, but look, he turned out to be probably the greatest DH, him and Big Papi, of all time.
Well, I think that's a really good point, because a lot of people seem to miss the point that, look, the leadership on the team, you're wearing that, whatever, the captaincy or whatever the hell it is, you are the captain of the team for a particular reason. And it's not because it's a cat show. It's because, look, these people are real leaders in the clubhouse and on the field. And frankly, they're probably leaders in the community for their club as well. I think that's a very fair way to look at it without it being jaded. Well, this guy makes this much. I don't care how much money you make. At the end of the day, you're going to have to lead by example on and off the field. And I have these on and off the field questions. And of course, we're going to save some of that for the next segment. In fact, we're going to be back here with a guy that's been in baseball for 50 years, has one hell of a collection. That'd be John McLaren. And we're going to be back here with John in just a few minutes here at the Sports Circus. Lots more to come, folks. Don't go anywhere.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average and best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.com.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more.
800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. 800-957-6209. That's 800-957-6209.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. That's 800-298-3173.
You're listening to the Sports Circus, and I'm Mike Golick.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP TV. Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, our recorded shows, which are our podcasts, and they can be found on your favorite platform, whether it's Apple or iHeart or Spotify or whatnot. We're there. You can't get away from us. Audible, Google, you name it, we're there. All right, also make sure you check out the partners page. Some of those partners have been with us since the very beginning. One of those is the College of Southern Nevada Athletics, csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. That's csncoyotes.com for the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. That's same place that Bryce Harper played, right here in fabulous Las Vegas. Had his coach on a few times. And Nick Garitano, a great guy. And boy, John, back here with 26-year Major League Baseball veteran coach and manager, John McLaren. John, of course, welcome back to the show. And John, after talking with Nick Garitano, who is the coach over there at College of Southern Nevada, boy, they have a lot of big league talent go through there. And just even on the first game of the season, and I've seen this for years and years now, they'll have scouts from just about every team there. They'll have over 30 scouts at their games because they turn out a lot of big league talent. Have you been to any of those games over there at College of Southern Nevada?
I haven't, but talking about Bryce Harper, I was bench coach in Washington for his first spring training, and I was working with the catchers. And so we started spring training, and we're dividing guys up, outfielders over here, infielders over here, catchers over here. And Bryce says, Mac, I want to come with you. First of all, let me say this. He knew about me before he came to spring training. The reason his son, David Segui's son, and Bryce were real close friends and played together. So David Segui told him, because I had David in Seattle, that I was a good guy and I threw good batting practice. So Bryce knew about me coming into spring training. So we're dividing all these players up, and Bryce says, Mac, I want to go with you, the catchers. I said, I'm sorry, but I believe those days are over with. I said, Washington wants you to play in the outfield, and that's where you're going to have a Hall of Fame career. And he wanted to go with me with the catchers, and he wanted to show them that he could catch, but they had too much invested in him, and they wanted him in the outfield. And great player, I tell you what. Teams playing against him, the game face that he brings every day and his intensity. He makes a lot of money, Sal, but the way he plays the game, I mean, we were beating him one night. He was in Washington, I was in Philly, and we're beating him like 10-0, and it's like in the 8th inning, and he goes sliding into the right field corner to try to catch a ball. And I looked at Larry Bowa and I said, "There's not many players would attempt that in a one-run game." That just tells you the fire that this guy's got to be the best. And people always used to tell me when I was scouting, "Who would you take, Trout or Harper?" And I said, "You can't go wrong with either one of them. They're both great players. One's right and one left. They both hit left and right pitchers. It doesn't make a difference. If you had the privilege and the ability to acquire either one of them, you're set for a lot of years."
Yeah, and they're both outstanding players. It would be nice, though, if Mike Trout could go through a season without being on the shelf. Every season he has been on the shelf. And it's tough because, he is certainly one of the best players in baseball. But he's not playing 162. So is he one of the best teams or one of the best players in baseball? Because he can't stay healthy for whatever reason.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's definitely, I don't know if injury prone's it, but it seems like that, he's like Mickey Mantle a little bit, Sal. I mean, Mickey had them strong, thick legs, and, when you run that fast and those legs are that big, you have groin pulls and hamstring pulls, and, he's had just about everything, but when he's on the field, I tell you what, he's a treat.
He is very exciting to watch. Him coupled with Shohei Ohtani, that's a very dangerous 1-2 punch. And I don't think if those two guys are healthy, I don't know if there is a better 1-2 punch in baseball. I really don't. What are your thoughts?
Pretty good. That off the top of my head, I can't think of a 1-2 punch like that. I mean, that's when those guys are on. I mean, they're just they're game changers. And when you have them both in the same lineup, I mean, that's just that's over the top.
It really is. And when I look at the fact that, these guys not only can hit for power, they can hit for average, and, oh, by the way, they've got great speed. So they're very dangerous on the offensive side. And we already know defensively, I mean, these are two guys that are literally at the top of the game. This is a very dangerous 1-2 punch, and you wonder, Artie Moreno has had such a hard time figuring out what's he going to do with these two, because you lose an enormous amount of the fan base if you deal Ohtani, and Ohtani's going to go. Right? I really believe he's going to go, but I think he's going to stay in Los Angeles, or he'll go to Seattle. I can't see him really going anywhere else. If he stays in the LA area, goes to LA, then he can live where he is, and life kind of stays constant. But if he goes to another team outside of Los Angeles or Seattle, look, every team is a fit for him, period. I mean, even if he gets, let's just say he can't pitch. We know he's not going to pitch. He's only going to hit, right? But he still is going to hit 300, thereabouts. He'll probably hit a little bit better for average, and he'll probably be a little bit less on the bases, only because I don't think he'll be stealing as much, only because the possibility of maybe hurting something else is a real possibility. But he'll probably sign some jumbo contract. And I guess the bigger question is, what kind of team signs him? That's what I want to know from you.
That's a great question. I'll tell you. I mean, Seattle, because they've had Japanese players over the years, and Ichiro's still there as an advisor. That's definitely a great fit. They have the money. They have the fan base. They're ready to win right now. Of course, the Dodgers. I mean, you got the weather. The West Coast is a good fit. Because some of them Japanese players don't like that real cold weather, so it might eliminate some East Coast teams. But I don't think ballparks play in it for him, because, I mean, his power is he's going to play in any ballpark he plays. So, this is going to be a very interesting offseason, and he's number one on the list, what he's going to do, no question.
So my question to you is, look, 100 years ago, I was a former pitcher, and I look at a guy like Ohtani, and I look at him in a bunch of different ways as a hitter. So this guy is a power hitter. He could do it all. But I pick up a baseball, and I say, okay, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to watch this guy. I'm going to watch film. I'm going to watch him in the on-deck circle. Let's say I'm on the pitcher's mound, all right? And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm looking at how he's holding his bat, right? I want to know how he's holding his bat with his knuckles. I want to see where those knuckles are lined up. And I want you to give me your opinion of this, because I've always done this, and I found this to be remarkably effective. If I'm seeing a guy like Ohtani, I watch him, and in many cases, he's lining up his big and little, right? He's got his big and little lined up. He's not like this here. He's like this here. So everybody on the radio, I'm rotating my fingers from big knuckles to little knuckles to big knuckles to big knuckles. I see him lined up with big and little. And what that tells me, I mean, I could be on crack. You never know, right? I mean, I'm not, but, I'm thinking this. The reality is, when he rolls his when he swings his bat, he doesn't have the bat speed through the strike zone that somebody big does, who rolls those hands over and gets that snap and can get around on the inside pitch. So for me as a pitcher, I'm going to bust him up and in. Up and in, I'm going to have a steady diet of up and in until he proves to me he can hit something high and tight. Now, we know that he has a hard time with pitches that are low and away. But generally speaking, he can extend his arms and he can get out there. But up and in, take 1 minute before we go to break and talk to me about that up and in with those knuckles rotated. Am I speaking ridiculously, or is there something to this?
Well, the up and in pitch, there's not many guys that can control an up and in pitch. I coached Roger Clemens in '91 in Boston, and he started turning into a different mindset that year. He started doing Nolan Ryan and starting to buzz guys, and school was out when he did that. And there's not many pitchers that pitch up and in with effect, and none of them throw for strikes. More of it's for effect. So, if you can get the ball there, that's a tough pitch to hit. Then you can go down and away. A great pitch.
Right. You can move them back and forth. Tell you what, when we come back from break, I want to talk a little bit more about this. A lot of people they ask questions, but they don't really get the answers. And it's a little bit intriguing to me. And we're not going to spoil it during the break for everybody sticking with us on streaming. So don't go anywhere, folks. Lots more to come here with the great John McLaren. 26 years Major League Baseball, coaching, managing. He's done it all. He's got a great collection. Back here in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
My favorite one had to do with the Green Bay Packers. And I love the fact that they dealt off Ty Montgomery because of a blown assignment. Green Bay isn't Green Bay unless they have a good running game. Then they can win 10 Super Bowls. The fact is, you don't have a running game. You've got 70% passing, and that's not where Aaron Rodgers needs to be. He needs to be in a position where he's got a running game to offset the passing game and so forth. I like the move. Green Bay didn't have a running game anyway, so all they're doing is saying, we're going to get rid of you because you don't follow instructions.
Well, he made one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. They traded him on Tuesday.
They should have cut him on Sunday night.
He shouldn't have been on the plane back to Green Bay.
Right, they should have made him walk back to Green Bay.
No, it was a terrible play. Now, he's not a stupid guy. He went to Stanford. He's not a dumb guy.
He's not a dumb guy, but he doesn't follow instructions.
He made a terrible play.
The fact is he didn't follow instructions. And you say he's not a dumb guy. His own agenda he put ahead of his team.
I agree.
Thus, he is a dumb guy. Right or wrong?
Wrong. He just got selfish. You're not going to convince me that a guy from Stanford's a dum-dum.
No!
This is Sidney Justin from the Miracles.
So you heard yesterday's show at Roy Firestone. Did you hear a little clip about him going into the office where Smokey was at? And that was really good material, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really funny, man.
Yeah, and then you heard him.
I thought it was hilarious. It was cool, though. It was cool. Really cool story, man. I enjoyed listening to that.
Right, and then he gave a couple of bars. Can you give us a couple of more from Ooh Baby Baby? And let's see if you could do it better than Roy Firestone. Come on, man!
All right, you know what? Why not? I did you wrong. My heart went out to play. But in the game, I lost you. What a price to pay. Hey, I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. How's that, man?
That's
Is that okay? Is that good enough?
That's incredible.
That's fantastic.
You know why? Because that's what you do. You're in the incredible business, Sid. That's awesome. Yes! Only on the Sports Circus. You're going to get sports. You get music.
Hey, Hey, this is Josie Scott from Josie Scott Saliva, and you're listening to the Sports Circus with Sal Tuzzolino.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP TV. This segment is brought to you by John McLaren and his incredible collection of bats and balls and pictures and stuff. And here to tell you all about this, in 30 seconds, he's going to give you a quick overview of his background. For everybody on radio, just imagine what we're talking about here and what John's talking about. Go ahead, John. Tell everybody about that incredible collection.
Well, like I said, I got interested in collecting through my grandfather, who lived in Galveston, Texas, and he loved baseball. And we used to watch Dizzy Dean and Pee Wee Reese on TV, and I just caught a passion for baseball. And he collected things and gave me a few things, and then, I just started collecting things. And we had a bullpen coach in Toronto, John Sullivan, and whenever city we'd go to, we'd walk around and we go to flea markets, and we got stuff from all over the place. And Mickey Mantle was my hero growing up. I got a lot of Mickey Mantle stuff, and I was able to get a lot of autographed bats over the years, Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire and all the great players. And then I got, all the great Hall of Famers, Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, Willie Mays, Yogi Berra. I got all them on a bat, and it's been a great hobby of mine. I really enjoyed putting this room together, and when I enjoy when people walk in here, they can't believe when they first walk in. There's so much to take in, and then the stories behind certain photos. Certain autographed baseballs, how I got them, some letters I have in my desk from certain people, and it's just it's been a really fun time doing this. I don't do it anymore really, but I've enjoyed doing it.
People dream about just maybe one of those items. By the way, a big welcome back to everybody tuning in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates. I have to throw this in there just because, right? We have to make sure we welcome back everybody over in Honolulu on CBS Sports 1500 KHKA. That's home of the New York Yankees and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Welcome back to everybody that may be listening with us over in Southern California on NBC News, CNBC Financial, right here in Las Vegas, KJPT Jackpot Radio, all the way over in Atlanta, WDJY 99.1 FM in Auburn, Alabama, home of the Atlanta Braves, WAUD. We got to make sure we mention them as well. Plus WBGY down in Southwest Florida, over in Naples, Marco Island, all over the place. And of course, all of our television affiliates, everybody streaming. Thanks for joining us again back here with the great John McLaren. And so, John, with that collection, mind you, I have a couple of things here and there, a couple of baseballs. You may see these over here. And the four that I have over here are, of course, Mantle, Mays, Williams, and Aaron. Those are the only four that I've got over here. And, a couple of others here and there. But generally speaking, those are the only autographed baseballs I have. Oh, besides the Goose Gossage over here. Other than that, I really, I don't have much. I mean, a couple of baseball bats from my beloved Chicago White Sox, of course, right? I have the World Series bat and all that stuff. You could buy that as a fan and whatnot, but I don't have. But this, I have a poppy seat on the bun to this incredible collection you have. And how many of those game-used bats have people said, I want to buy that from you?
I've never sell anything. I didn't do it for that. I know I caught a lot of flack, guys seeing me collect these things and wondering what I was going to do with it. And I've actually, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I've thought about loaning it giving it to the city of Peoria here in Arizona, see if they want to make a shop over at the stadium.
That would be cool.
Complex. So I've tried to think of some ideas because I really don't have anybody to leave it to, and I don't want somebody to take it and sell all of it.
Right.
And number one, I just it's all for the wrong reasons. So I need to sort this out and line something up, going forward.
Well, and that's part of it. And people ask me frequently, they're like, well, hey, can you get this signed for me? I'm like, no, because I don't ask for that. I don't take selfies with people. It's just not my thing. I think it's tacky of saying, well, hey, John, why don't you sign this ball here for me or something like that. I don't need stuff like that. Only because, A, I'm not a super fan, and B, I'm not trying to sell anything. Whatever I've got is what I've got. I have baseball cards from 1950s all the way to today's time, right? Like I was talking about Corbin McCarroll. We're going to get into the World Series in just a moment here. But I'm just a fan as well. And it's cool to have cool stuff. And I'm not trying to show the world. It's just for me and my own consumption. It's a nice getaway from the stress of daily life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So I want to go back to this inside pitching for just a moment before we get into the World Series and the Dubai project. All right. So inside pitching, it's an art. In the same light as being able to step away from a Greg Maddux two-seam fastball, very hard to do. Rick Russell had a really good two-seam fastball, right? That they would just tail, completely out of the strike zone. But of course, it looks like a strike. But when you talk about busting hitters up and in, so me as a lefty, for example, I'm facing a left-handed hitter, and I know I'm going to throw that two-seamer right on those hands, right? It's going to look like it's going over the middle of the plate, and it's going to end up tailing inside. How do you tell those players because the audience doesn't necessarily hear this kind of dialogue, what do you tell those hitters if you're talking to them about trying to hit their way out of a slump or something like that? Hey Joe, you're gonna face a tough inside pitcher today. You got a lefty-lefty matchup. We're leaving you in there. He's going to try to bust you inside. How do you get them around that train of thought and get around on those inside pitches?
Well, I think most of these guys study so much video. They know how they're going to be attacked. What's his game plan? I mean, the way you just described a guy from Las Vegas, Greg Maddux. I mean, everybody, left-handers would give up. Their hands would go like that, and here comes a banana. Mike Boddicker, Mike Mussina. Those guys threw inside for strikes. They had the ability to locate their pitches. They had great command. There's a lot of guys with good control, but good control could be centering a lot of pitches that are hittable out over the plate. But like those three guys I just said to you, they could pitch inside and throw strikes. A lot of people are not going to know this name, but Doyle Alexander, a pitcher that we had in Toronto, I'd never seen anybody break as many bats as Doyle Alexander, and he got them thinking change up, and then he'd run that two-seam in on their hands, and he didn't throw that hard. But you talking about an effective pitcher. Doyle Alexander knew how to pitch, and guys like that are like surgeons. They know how to operate. They know they got a game plan. There was nobody better than Maddux. I actually got to see Greg in Venezuela in the 80s, and he threw hard then. I mean, he was a 94 guy. He could overpower hitters. He didn't have that command he got later on. Mm-hmm. But Pedro Martinez, there's somebody that had great command, but he also had an above-average fastball, a Bugs Bunny changeup, and he was a headhunter. And when he was on, I tell you what, Pedro was as good as anybody has ever taken that mound out there, because he was a great competitor, and he wouldn't back off. I enjoy watching pitching duels. A lot of people think it's boring, but I enjoyed watching it.
I like 1-0 games, 2-1 games, 3-2 games. There's a lot of strategy, and for me personally, I don't like the idea that we have a designated hitter in the National League. I just don't like the DH. It takes a lot of the strategy out of the game, and I understand people want to see offense, home runs, and all this other crap, but there's so much that can happen with the pitcher in the game, from a good hitting pitcher to double switches and all kinds of neat stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, there's no question. The National League game was always pure, when they put the DH in the American League, because when we go to the National League ballparks, I mean, you had decisions on how you're handling your starting pitching. You're losing, you had to take him out. Who do you pinch hit? When do you pinch hit? Your double switch, how do you do it? And there's strategy involved. In the American League, you just try to hit home runs and try to outslug the other team. So the game's missing a little something by not having it. Plus, you wouldn't have something like Abreu, because he'd have to bat every now and then, and for the Astros. And that's what I like. When those guys started plunking people, when they came up to the plate, let's go.
That's right. And I'm that guy too. I say, all right, you know what? You're going to hit our guy? Guess what? Wait till you get up and you wear one right on the side of your knee or on your instep. I'll promise you're going to feel it for the next 3 weeks. There's no meat there. In fact, when we come back, we'll finish up on that, and we're going to go into the World Series, or we're going to take a trip to the Middle East with John McLaren, 26 years coaching and managing in Major League Baseball, 50 years of the game. Folks, you don't want to miss these stories. Great stuff. Back in a few.
Can't beat fun at the old ballpark, friends. High pop fly. That would be a home run in a phone booth. I don't know what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go and buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box? Here's the pitch. That might not sound important to some people when you're a little kid, especially from humble origin, and they cheat you out of a prize. There's a bouncing ball. Second baseman has a Barbary over to first. It's hard to think in laudatory terms of the product.
I think if there was an occasional box of Cracker Jacks that found no prizes for the little Harry Carey many years ago.
You got that right. And boy, when a box of Cracker Jack to me meant a lot of money. Here's a pitch, bounce foul. That's the most asinine marketing I've ever heard of. 1 ball, 1 strike. These guys say, well, you sing about Cracker Jack. I said that I only sing it because it's in the song. Here's a pitch foul back. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, even to this day, some youngsters who buy a box of Cracker Jack don't find a prize in the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Well, if you're going to talk about our congressman being crooked, here's a pitch foul out of play. Why not talk about commercial products that don't do what they represent to do?
There's a smash to Squires. He's got it. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. We're going to the bottom of the 7th now to score. All tied up. Milwaukee 4, the White Sox 4. Hey! Everybody! All right, Nancy, let me hear you. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back for its root for the White Sox. If they don't win, it's a shame, or it's what?
cow. This crowd is wild.
Hello, Jack McDowell here, Black Jack McDowell, and you're watching the Sports Circus, which is totally cool. So you have a great time watching. Have some fun.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio. Stands for All Ages Media Programming Television. In case you're keeping score, thanks for joining us on all of our streaming platforms. Of course, all of our Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, WOW, Cable Television, and Time Warner affiliates, as well as Hotel TV, gaining about 4 million impressions per hour. Really big number. Also, thanks to everybody on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports and Independence from coast to coast. Thanks for joining us. Back here with John McLaren, an incredible storyteller, an incredible collector of great baseball stuff, and also a really knowledgeable guy that knows a lot about baseball. And John, welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Thank you.
All right, so I was talking strategy, and I was talking about the designated hitter rule and how the game seems to be missing a little something. So let's take that idea and let's transfer strategy, baseball strategy, to a project that you're going to be working on, and you're going to be running a baseball team. Where? Tell everybody.
I'm going to Dubai. It's gonna be a nice. We're gonna be trailblazers. Put it that way. We're gonna use the cricket stadium. A lot of big names involved there. Barry Larkin, Felix Hernandez, Adrian Beltre, Nick Swisher, Albert Pujols, Ryan Howard, Miguel Tejada, Chris Sabo, Dennis Cook. We got a really nice ownership, and we got 30 countries that are going to send players this year. We're going to combine 4 teams and make 2 teams and play 2 All-Star games, November 24th and 25th. And then in 2024, it's going to be a 2-month winter league in November and December. So, I'm an international. I love international baseball. I've been all over Europe for MLB, Japan, Korea, Taiwan. I managed and coached in Venezuela 7 years, Colombia 2 years. Been in the Dominican numerous times, Puerto Rico, Nicaragua, and I've been to Dublin, Ireland, Belarus. I mean, I just love talking baseball, and when this opportunity came for me to be part of it, I couldn't wait. I was the first one to sign up, and it's going to be some fun times.
The experience, or better yet, the opportunity and the forthcoming experience, it's just something that it just doesn't happen. This is the once in a lifetime, because you're the first, right? It's the once in a lifetime opportunity, and you will forever be associated with pioneering and trailblazing over there. Now, I'm a big fan of cricket. I love the fact that you could score 100 runs, right? And the games will last days and days. And when I think of people complaining about, well, the games are lasting too long, we got to get little Billy and little Susie home because it's bedtime. Listen, I'm that guy that says, stay home. I don't need you there. I want the people that want bonus baseball around. And I don't even like these extra inning rules with this runner on second garbage, whatever. Play the game until it's a war of attrition, until somebody wins the damn game, right? But now over there, are they going to adopt the current Major League Baseball rules?
Yes. I mean, it's going to be a a regular game. I mean, there's 70% of our players are ex-major league players.
Right.
Robinson Cano's on my team. Didi Gregorius. Pablo Sandoval's involved. Simmons, the shortstop, used to be at the Angels.
Andrelton Simmons, yep.
There's going to be quite an assortment of players. We got them from the independent league. We got #1 draft choices from all over baseball. Alex Liddy, who is from Italy. We got several guys from Italy and Germany and the Netherlands and Japan, Australia. So like I said, this is a world event, and the leadership that we have is phenomenal. We had 2 meetings in Cincinnati, and our board, a lot of them are ex-Procter & Gamble executives, and one of them's an ex-executive from Kroger. So we got businessmen. They know business and marketing, and if you look, our website is Baseball United. If you go on Baseball United, it's exciting. They've got a merchandise shop already. They've got offices in Dubai. They got film clips of our meetings. They show all our owners, all our players. We had our draft Monday, and this thing is a well-designed game plan. And I always tell people, I was with Pat Gillick close to 17 years on different organizations, and he was the most organized person I ever saw in my life. And these people are right with Pat Gillick, if not a little bit ahead, and that's saying a lot. And like I said, I can't wait to go. I'm leaving, I think, November the 18th, and I'll have to tell you about it when I get back.
That's right.
It should be really exciting, and it's a new sport for Dubai. They're used to cricket.
You could do a show from over there. Ah. Why not?
Never know.
If you have time, if the stars align and you could do it, whatever, it would be a lot of fun. We'll be able to promote what's going on over there right here on the circus, and at the same time, we're going to open people's mind and their eyes up to what's going on around the world as well. Nice round of applause, of course, for that effort. So let me ask you this. Speaking about world and baseball, we have a World Series coming up here in our last few minutes of the segment. Talk to me about the World Series. Give me a snapshot of how you see things playing out in this World Series.
Well, the playoffs have been unpredictable for me. Some of the teams you thought were going to win, all the favorites lost out. It doesn't surprise me Texas is there. They're a team that was put together with free agents, a couple people from the farm system, a third baseman, the center fielder that came from their farm system. And then you looked at the Diamondbacks, and they're more or less all farm systems. They're athletic. They have fun. They're fearless. Torrey's done a great job, and I don't have to say anything about Bruce Bochy. His resume speaks for himself. He's one of the all-time greats. I love Bruce Bochy. We were passing each other in the Houston Astros organization as players, and I was going out and he was coming in. I've always been a big fan of Boch. He does it right. He shows respect of the game. He runs a good game. I think the Rangers have the best starting pitching, and I think the Diamondbacks have the best bullpen. Couple wild cards for me. I like the third baseman from Texas, Young. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Young.
I like this guy. He's kind of a quiet guy. Seager, he gets a lot of headlines. Of course, the right fielder, Garcia, he's going to get headlines for a lot of reasons.
Right.
He's a Cuban player, and Cuba's been a factory. We could talk an hour about Cuba. I'm in. That's one place I haven't been that I like to go. But he's a wild card, and The Diamondbacks, they're just a well-designed team. The second baseman, Marte, the first baseman, Walker, and those young kids, Carroll and Thomas. And the big wild card for me is Marino, the catcher. I love him. He's going to be a star in the future. I watch catchers closely, being an ex-catcher, and I like everything about this guy. His enthusiasm, his knowledge of the game, the way he plays, he throws. He gets big hits. He's from Columbia, where I managed 2 years, and I'm pulling for the guy. He's everything I look for in a catcher.
Right. He has a better arm than what Texas had, but Texas, they have two catchers that can knock the ball out of the yard, and one of their catchers is a switch-hitting power hitter. And that Jonah Heim, that kid's legit. And, of course, Mitch Garver is legit. That is a really nice combo at the catcher position. So it's a luxury for sure. I mean, I'm a little concerned about the inconsistency with Marcus Semien for Texas, because either he's really on or this guy is just off. And I mean really off. But the team consistency of Arizona is very intriguing to me, because these guys, it's always the next man up mentality, and there's always somebody that's going to step up. And I love that. I've been rooting for them all year, of course, with Texas as well for a personal reason. But I really see this as a lot more even than people see it. But I don't think it's going to go 7. I think it's going to go 6 games. And I believe the free agency team is going to find themselves in the winner's circle for the first time. And that's just one guy's opinion. I don't know nothing, folks. It's just as I see the game, and you see it from one side of the battery, I see it from another side of the battery. I like the starting pitching with Arizona. I absolutely like that. The late season trades, of course, for Chris Young has really worked out for Texas, but I like growing up in the system pitchers. What are your thoughts, real quick?
I agree with you. When you got guys that come up to your system, it's special. It's really special. That means everybody's done their job. You got good scouting, good development. You got them in the major leagues. Now you got your major league coaches working with them. And Arizona has rode this underdog role as good as you can ride it.
Yeah.
And now they got one more time, and we'll see if they can ride it again. I'm hoping to go Monday, so I haven't been in a World Series game since 2001. Was Arizona was playing the Yankees, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Boy, this is going to be a very entertaining series. And it doesn't matter who wins, because both teams are winners at this point, because nobody expected them to be there. And it'll be very entertaining to watch. John, thanks for coming back to the circus. And, of course, we'd always like to have you back here on the show just because, right? If the spirit moves you, please come back and share some more fun with us, maybe after the World Series.
Sounds good. Okay, Sal. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
John, it's been a pleasure. And everybody else, thanks for joining us here on the circus. We'll see you in about 23 hours. So until then, for John McLaren, I'm your Ringmaster Sal. We'll see you next time. So long, everyone.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes, are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.